What's up there guys, this is Chris from VFXON, and in this tutorial I'm going to be covering the basics of the After Effects Element 3D, and with those basic knowledge I will show you how to make intro. So let's get started with Cinema 4D. Okay, so I'm going to go to MoGraph, Mode Text. You don't have to necessarily import text, but for the tutorial purposes I'm gonna do that, and because obviously intro has to have some sort of a text, or it can be just your logo pretty much also, that will work. Tutorial, and I'm gonna use what about this? No, you can't really tell if that's a V or is that a bad T. What about this tutorial? That looks kind of cool, but I don't like it. Let's see. Where is the font that I want to? Oh, here it is, Lobster. Yes, that's what I want to use. And now go to caps, fillet cap, and I'm gonna increase that to 9. What am I doing here? Okay, 9. Okay, so it's nice and round, and I'm not gonna cover how to import your material to Element 3D. I'm gonna do that in another tutorial, but for now we're gonna stick with the plain basic object without any materials. And when you're done with your material, make sure it is editable. So click C on your keyboard, select children, click C again, select children, and connect object plus delete. So at the end, make sure it is one object. Okay, and now we can go and save this, and I'm gonna save this as 3D. Well, yeah, 3D, that will be good. Okay, and we can move to After Effects. Okay, so here I have my After Effects. Let's create new comp. I'm gonna use this preset right here, duration, whatever you like, and click OK. Oh, named it main. Okay. Also, sorry if I'm rushing through here, but that's because I've recorded this tutorial like 4 times now, and for some reason it just, my recorder stopped working, and I had some problems with my mic, and just there have been a lot of issues, and I hope this time it will work. So let's click with our right here and new solid, and I'm gonna name this 3D. Now go to Effects, Video Copilot, and Element. Go to Scene Setup, and let's import our object. So here we have our 3D object that we saved in Cinema 4D. Now, if you open up, you can see that your text is, or object is facing other way around, but we'll fix that later on. Obviously here you can rotate it and stuff like that. It's very plain and there is really nothing to it. So let's go to Materials and Bevel Browser, Presets, and I think these are the default materials or whatever textures that came with Element 3D. But if you pay $99, you can buy Pro Shaders. And there are a lot of concrete, no, there are not a lot of concrete. There are a lot of different categories for textures, like concrete, fabric, ground, metal, and so on. I think if you buy it with Element 3D, it is $150 or something like that. So I would definitely recommend, because there are a lot of good textures in it, like rough silver. It does look pretty cool. Or let's see what else, like brush metal, like it's very shiny. But for this one, I'm not going to use any Pro Shaders. I'm going to go with Materials and Shiny Light. And I don't really like the look of it, so I'm going to go down to Color, I'm gonna select something pink because I think this style of text does deserve a kind of candy look. And if we go above, you can see it's black here, and we have to change that diffuse color, and I'm going to change it to something like this. Okay, so it's a very sweet looking text right now. I'm going to just move it to this position. And now if we select default lights, light presets, you can see if we change these, the light is changing. And just select the one that you like the best. Aqua looks cool. Honestly, I really like aqua. I think I'm gonna go with aqua. Underwater, no, kind of too dark. Natural, or no, I'm gonna go with natural. Yeah, I really like those ones. Let's see. 100 ambient, no, that's too much. Yeah, I'm gonna go with natural. Okay, and we can also go to environment here, and that's basically obviously the environment that's around our 3D object. We don't see it, but the computer or the software does know it is there. So let's see which one we could use. What about shop? Too dark. Studio? No, we don't like it. Town? Town looks okay. What about warehouse? Too dark. Garage? No. Lobby? Too bright. What about lobby blurred? I don't know. Default? It's hard to choose. Garden? No. Roof? Oh, no. Roof kind of too slick. Parking? Okay, I think I'm gonna go with, what about City Worm? City Worm blurred. What, warehouse? Warehouse blurred? Yeah, I'm gonna go with warehouse blur. You can change settings here, like gamma and stuff like that. And yeah. Also, you can add your own environment by clicking here, and then just select your PNG or JPEG file, and you're good to go. So I'm gonna click OK. I'm gonna stick with this. What if I change the colors right now to aqua? Yeah, that doesn't look good. That's too... Maybe I should go with cinematic. Dramatic, no. Stylized. 360. I'm gonna go with 360 because that gives like that more sweet look to it. And let's click OK. Oh, another thing to mention, there are already model browsers, default like things that comes with the Element 3D, like some basic object, starter pack, like just basic thing. Yeah, so here we have our 3D object, but unfortunately it is facing the wrong direction. One way to fix it is by going to World Transform and World Rotation. And if we go in Y Rotation and we set it to 180 degrees, it's going to rotate our text in the correct position. But the world means that it rotates everything that it is within the element effect. So if you have more objects than one, it will rotate them also. But another way to fix this is by going into Group, Particle Look, and Particle Rotation, and if we rotate Y to 180 degrees. So now it is facing the correct direction. And the groups basically here are a very cool feature. So let's go Scene Setup, and I'm gonna, let's say, add this bulb. And I'm gonna click here to 2. Okay, so basically those are groups 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Click OK, and we can see that we have our bulb right here. And if we go to Group 2, Particle Look, particle rotation, and if we rotate it X rotation, you see it only rotates the bulb. But if we go to roll transform, and if we rotate the roll, it rotates everything. So that's what I meant. Okay, I'm gonna go back to scene setup and delete the bulb. And I'm gonna set this to 0, but this time I'm gonna rotate the roll because I only have one object, and I much rather prefer that the group that I'm working with right here, all the rotations are at 0, because for me at least it is easier to like know what's going on and at what angle it is facing. What else do we have? Render settings, environment. We can, well, that pretty much doesn't change anything. Show BG, that's gonna show the background. We don't need that. We can rotate environment. Well, we really don't see that much of an effect right there. Okay, we can close the environment. Light, I'm gonna add light and use, what did I use? Oh, I used 360. So I'm gonna stick with that. Fog, we can enable fog. That kind of turns our text a little bit more dark, but I don't need that. And ambient occlusion, obviously for those that work with Cinema 4D knows what this is. Basically that is that the computer calculates how much of the light, for example, is casting on our object, and it calculates where the object should be more darker, where it should be more shadows and stuff like that. But I at least have found out that it really doesn't give that much of a change or change at all, maybe on like different objects, but here I really can't see any. So I'm gonna leave that to off. Motion blur, depth of field, glow, obviously all of those things are well known and self-explaining. So yeah, what about utilities? Home animation engine, I really don't want to get into this because that's like better don't mess with that. Yeah, so let's close this down and this and add a new solid. So I'm gonna now work with our background. Let's set up our scene. I'm gonna go with something like this. Okay, as a background, and I'm gonna go to new solid and mask BG. I'm gonna set it to black, and I'm gonna double click here, select ellipse tool, and just double click. Now select it, inverted, mask, and mask feather. Just gonna feather it. It's about like, let's say this much. Now let's right click, new solid, particles, click OK, and in effects let's search for particle. Which one was it? Particle system or particle world? Let's see, it is particle world. Alright, I'm gonna delete particle system, select as the only one, particles, birth color. Let's set that. Okay, no, let's set the particle type to tri-polygon. Let's move just a bit forward. And birth color, I'm gonna set that to, let's say something like this. So it's pinkish. Alright. And let's move that here. So that's going on in our background, so that's good. Now let's just mess around. And now let's go to physics. And let's see, I kind of don't like that they're doing it this way. Oh, we go to producer, and by the physics animation, let's change that to fire. And by the producer, I'm gonna move this position Y to, let's say, here. and radius to about like that, and radius Y to about like this, radius Z, something like this. Let's see, how does it look? It looks okay. Maybe the size a little bit smaller, and by the birth rate, let's do it something like this. Okay, the speed is a little bit too big, so velocity, gravity, let's minimize that to about something like this. Okay, maybe that's a little bit too slow. Let's set a little bit slower velocity. Extra. Yeah, we need a little bit more of gravity. Okay, that looks okay, I guess. Now let's change the birth size a little bit smaller. And death size also a little bit smaller, so they do not like take off attention of our text. Opacity, let's set it something like this. And what do we have by extras? I think this is pretty much good. Maybe increase the length of the particles and reduce the birth rate. I think it looks good. I'm gonna take these particles and I'm gonna duplicate the layer. I'm gonna go to particles, and I'm gonna change the particle type to motion polygon. Cube. No, I need something different. Let's see, lens bubbles. Why it's not showing up? Alright, let's try shaded sphere, faded sphere. How about that? Okay, and now let's change the radius of them so they're not all of them not in the same position. Okay, and also max opacity down. Let's see, how does it look in overall? I would say it looks good. Maybe the default particles, the opacity should go down a bit more. Something like that. I think it looks good. Yeah, I would say it looks good. Alright, now let's select both of these and let's go to start and move them back when the animation is already going on. Select again both and move till the end. Okay, what else do we need to make this? I have no plan what to do with this intro. I'm just making it as I'm going. I think we need light or camera. I can't really decide on that. I think I'm gonna go with the camera right now, or light. No, I'm gonna go with light. Okay, so flare, effects, video copilot, optical flares, on transparent. Now let's go to options, light, and let's try pink glow. This might work. What if we set it behind? I think we have to set it above, right? There, or there. I think it should be there. And the brightness should be decreased. something like that. Maybe even move it closer, or not, or leave it there. I can't really decide. I think for now I'm gonna leave it here. And now we need a camera. I'm gonna use the 35mm one. Okay, and now we can work with the camera. Okay, and now with the camera, here we have a lot of different camera options. I'm gonna go with track Z, and now we need to position where we want our text to be at the start of the video, of the intro. Obviously we don't want it already to be in, you know, to see the full text or whatever, but if you want that, you know, you can do it that way. I'm gonna do it a little bit differently. I'm gonna rotate it to here. For now I'm gonna turn this and this, so we only focus on these. And I'm gonna zoom into here. Like that, and let's see this side. Okay, like that. I need title action save. Well, about somewhere here is the middle. And let's see, what do we need? How do I want to do this? Okay, so we're gonna start from here. From here. Okay, this is gonna be the start position. So in camera, I'll go to transform and select these points and click on this stopwatch right there, so we have a keyframes. Now go forward and just, you know, do your animation how you want to do it. I'm gonna go and move it back. No, not forward, but like that maybe. Now rotate it. See, how does it look? Okay, it goes through a lot of layers, which is bad, and that means we have to move back. Okay, it still goes through layers. We still need to move back. How far am I? Okay, maybe to here will be okay. Yeah, this is good. And let's say about like here, I want it to move forward. Now move it up and go forward. Not there, but so it sort of slides above the surface of our text, because it really looks delicious, and I honestly really want to eat this text. It does look very, very delicious, at least to me. I don't know what's with the pink color. Like, for me at least, it works really good. I really want to eat that. What is pink? Okay, let's see. I think the text comes a bit too close here, so I'm gonna zoom out to this far. Let's see how it does. Okay, there is some sort of a bump. See, up and down. So I want from there that it would go. I'm gonna delete this and this. I'm just gonna move it forward, rotate it. No, not rotated, but just move, and let's see how does it goes. And I'm also gonna set them right click keyframe assistant and easy ease. Okay, and this is how it looks like. It is a little bit fast, and that's maybe the reason why it doesn't look that good. Oops. By holding Alt, you can spread them out. So let's see now. Again, there's somewhat of a lag. You can see that it does slow it down. So let's try and change these to easy ease in. Let's see how it works. Yeah, still have a bad effect. Alright, select them and just control click so they're back to normal. And this is how it looks right now. I think I'm gonna go only with I'm gonna go this far because I don't need it going down. So I'm gonna stop it right there, set a keyframes right there, and I'm gonna delete both of these. So that's gonna be my first, and pretty much you get the point. And I'm gonna be back with my full intro or animation of the camera. Okay, so I finished my camera work, and this is what I have. It's very simple. I didn't want it to go with anything, you know, very like crazy or something like that. So this is a very basic thing. Yeah. And from here now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn these off, and I think I have to set the flare as a 3D object, because if I don't, it's gonna sit there all the time, and I'm just gonna see how it looks. I want it to be there. If I set it as 3D, it's somewhere else, you see, because I like how this is going. And yeah, I think this is okay. I'm gonna go in flare. I'm gonna see where it is right now, what sort of I'm gonna move it back into the position I want it to be. Like I want it to be there, and then it just can do whatever it wants to do. Maybe just a bit out, so it's somewhere like here. You see, so it's not in the shot like that. Or even I can actually leave the from like here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it that way. Okay, so I've deleted the first movement, and I'm only gonna do it from here, and here I'm gonna select a new solid, and I'm gonna select color like this. Then I'm gonna do a mask, and I'm gonna do mask feather opacity and expansion as a keyframe. Move it to here and set it to I actually need it inverted, and I'm gonna make it sort of dissolve, like get rid of it like that. But here I need the expansion to be full, and so it sort of goes, well, it goes out very fast, so I'm gonna go till here. Okay, so something like that. Okay, what frame is this? Okay, I need it from here actually, because that looks better than that. So I'm gonna select all these. I'm gonna move it to here. Okay, so that looks good. That looks Good, I like it. Yeah, I like it. Ooh, it is very sweet. Okay, what is that? Is that that? No, it's not. What is it? What's moving there that I don't want to be moving? That's the flare. Alright, so I need to increase it like that. Okay, why did it mess up like that right there? I have no idea. Okay, center position. I'm gonna put it right there. No. Yeah, that did mess up. I'm gonna move it to here and adjust the position of it. So at the end is somewhere there, somewhat like this. And how does it look? I would say it looks okay. It looks really fine. You see, it looks kind of like candy, and it's just gonna turn off right here. That is about the motion stops. So right there it's gonna stop. I think it looks a lot better than my original preview. What if we set the particles as 3D? I don't know, I think it's fine if they're not 3D, but I need motion blur on our particles at least. Or maybe not, I don't know. Do we need motion blur? For those I don't, or I do. Let's see, I think it looks very, very good. I really like it. Something different, I would say. So yeah, I really like this. I think I'm gonna upload this to the channel because it looks very, very cool. Yeah. So that's it for this tutorial, guys. I hope it was helpful. And if you have any questions or suggestions, make sure you leave them down below in comment. And also give this video a big thumbs up because I had a lot of struggle with this. It's 4th time I'm recording this and finally it worked out okay. And also because it currently is, it is almost 4 AM, so yeah, I hope my neighbors are not mad at me for recording, because I honestly went nuts when 3rd time the recording did stop. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and like button, and if you have time, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. And I will see you guys in my next tutorial. Goodbye.